I'm gonna go ahead and press record. I'm gonna get a few
Okay.
things in place, and then we'll start like in 2 minutes.
Okay. I'm gonna make sure this is a groundbreaking episode.
Oh, cool, cool. I appreciate that. Jaleel Campbell, thank you for being on our first ever Black Cub chats. We appreciate you, man. You're a creative that has many titles. You are a director, an illustrator, set designer. I felt you do it all. How would you describe your artistic approach?
um I'm sorry. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
oh no, you good, bro?
Okay. So I don't know. It's math. I really do like a lot of things. So I just be saying multidisciplinary artist because it sounds short, it sounds bougie. Let's go with that.
Cool. Now I dig that, and I feel like yeah, because you can see in all the different work that you do, you can tell you're disciplined in all those crafts, right? Uh,
Right.
like I see that well enough in the Feel the Funk project.
Hmm.
It was just so dope, man, to see both the artistic visuals and the film. Like it
Hmm.
gave me that warm 70s vibe,
Hmm.
as well as like emotionally it just made me feel happy. There's something about seeing like black folks, or just young black folks, just engaging and being happy. It just brought me so much joy. How did that project come about?
So I did this like illustration series of the same name. So feel that funk series. And again, it was based off of those 70s aesthetics, the black arts movement. Um, just trying to make I guess like black artwork. And I was thinking of the images that I grew up seeing in my household as a child that my mother got from AJ Wright. I don't know if y'all have that where y'all from, but AJ Wright used to be the store and they had all the black, like they black house decoration stuff was so on point. Um I missed that and I wanted to create a more like modern version of that. So that was like my whole thought process. And then after I finished those illustrations, I'm like, I was working at CFAC at the time and I'm like, oh my God, this would be the perfect place to do something. Um so I wanted to try and bring those illustrations to life. What would that look like? And we showed up not knowing what to expect. And we got like 12 hours worth of footage of just beautiful black people dancing. They was exhausted by the end, but it came out so nice. And we ended up having the release party for that video at my in my backyard, and we watched that video like 500 times that night. No lie, me and my friends, and we was just like, nah, it's something special about this. I couldn't put my hand on it, but it was special.
Cool. No, yeah, that's great to hear, man. It's always cool just to hear like the process of how a project comes about, right?
Hmm.
Like I always fight for a creative. There's always that expectation versus reality, right? So how you think about it in your head, how it comes out.
Hmm.
Um, did it turn out how you wanted it to? And also like what were just some of the initial reactions? You said you watched it 500 times. I saw
Yeah.
I saw some of the reviews in the chat. Like how did you feel once it was completed, and how did it make other people feel around you?
Hmm. So I couldn't believe that we got a chance to capture ourselves on camera looking so fucking fly. First and foremost, that was just looking so fly. And uh I don't know, that night when Christian told me, he texted me at like 4 telling me that he finished the video. And so quickly I text everybody to pull up to my house for a screening that night. And when he played it, we was just like blown away. We were literally blown away. And this woman named Talana, she's been like a big supporter of my work over the years. And she got a chance to be in the music video, and she was just telling me how she grew up in New York City during like the 90s like club scene. And she used to be out there dancing. She was like just dancing and all that stuff. She misses that. And so it gave her that atmosphere that she missed so much. And she felt everybody that day just felt like it was a certain um there was a certain type of feeling in the room that you just had to be there to experience.
Cool. Yeah, I feel like I feel like at least for me, watching it, I felt that experience. Like it brought me back to times when I'm hanging out with my peoples, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, and just the authenticity of just that joy and just enjoying each other's company, not having to worry about the world around you. It's
Right.
almost, I feel like it's almost a form of escapism.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to do with this workout? 'Cause I know you said in the work that like you want to see black people being represented in ways that we don't normally see in the media. So
Yeah.
what do you hope this work does for those who watch it? What do you hope they take away from it?
I hope that it provides a sense of healing to those that watch it, to those that more so participate in it. That's that feeling of I don't yeah, like that escapism feeling. It's like a drug or something. And it just feels so good to be in that space. And how could we do this on a regular so that we can go back and um, live our daily lives, as crazy as they might get? We can still know that, okay, we can always come back here to have that feeling that makes it all worth it. So that was like that was most of the reason why I wanted to get my own studio space, because that's me being able to put this philosophy into practice. And so when people come over here, yeah, you come in to visit the space and do a tour of the apartment, but I also want to talk to you and see what happens from that conversation. If we're able to really connect on deeper ideas and stuff.
Cool. Now, I was listening to one of your interviews, and you were talking about an artist, a Syracuse artist named Michael Moody. Um, who is he to you? How has he impacted your work?
So he was a an artist here in Syracuse, and a lot of his work can be seen over in the Westcott area. Um, and I was such a big admirer of his mural that's on Westcott. I'm not sure what the name is, but always loved it since I was a child, and never got a chance to meet him though. And the first year that I vended at the Westcott Festival, so this was probably like, I don't know if that was 2015 or 2016. That was the last year he vended there because he ended up dying a couple of months later. And he was right down. I could literally see this man. I could have went down there and introduced myself. Didn't do it. Didn't take that chance, and he ended up dying. So I do love his depictions of Black people. Although some of his murals were multi-race and stuff, but the Black people in his images just look really, really dope. I like his like painting style.
Cool. If you had an opportunity to speak to him, what would you like to say?
I would just want to say, first of all, thank you for your contributions to the scene, the art scene here in Syracuse. And um how did you get hooked up with like publishing to get your, because like I used to be good friends with one of his cousins or something, and she gifted me some of his prints. And I'm just like, that was like one of the best gifts I ever got in my life. I still love those pictures. But I'm like, okay, yeah, like I want to know more about the business side, because this was like, that was probably like I was maybe like 20, no, 18 or 19 at the time. So I'm just trying to figure out how can I make all my stuff more legitimate. Because it seemed like he was able to do something, if this is his part of his career. So um some guidance, yes. Because I never really had like a mentor or anything.
Cool. Well, I bet he will be proud of your work, man. Just seeing all the
Mhm.
dope stuff that you're doing. Um, I want to transition a bit to the Jalethal dolls. One thing I forgot to mention is that you are also a doll creator. Now,
Mhm.
how did you get into making dolls?
So I used to go to the Boys and Girls Club. Shout out to Hamilton Street Boys and Girls Club over on the west side. And My cousin Saisha, she was the program director there, and she used to teach a crocheting class. And so you had to be 10 years old to take this class. And when I first found out about it, I was 9. I was fiending to be in this class. I'm like, I feel like if I learn how to do this, I'm gonna be mad good at it. And I turned 10 and she let me into the class, and I she says that I became better than her. I don't believe it because she was doing this since she was like a teenager. So um like she taught me how to crochet, and from there I learned to read like patterns and stuff. And I was browsing the internet as a young child, and I was on the 2000 and what 4 or 5 version of Instagram, which was Flickr. And I found this doll maker out in Chicago named Beth Doherty, and she crocheted these dope punk looking dolls that look so edgy. I'm like, yo, this is so fly. It had like a real um punk vibe to it, but it looked a little hip hop too. So I had wrote to her, and she sent me one of her books actually for free. I'm like, because I told her it was my birthday coming up, trying to finesse, like, oh, can I I would just love one of your books. That's I was finessing at a little age too. Don't get it twisted. So uh, from there I learned how to make her dolls, and those served as the precursor to the Jalito dolls. So back in like 2017, that was when one random day near Thanksgiving, I got up and I went to Michael's, and I just grabbed some supplies, and I'm like, I want to set out and try to make a felt doll for some reason. Let me see if I can do this. And I ended up making one in 4 days, and I couldn't believe that I actually made a doll. Like, it was just crazy. So after that, my mother introduced me to the Cricut machine, and the software that it uses can it knows how to read SVG files. So I'm like, that's an option in Adobe Illustrator. I wonder if I designed the doll in Adobe Illustrator and then use the machine and cut it out, if it would be perfect. And the answer was yes.
Oh,
So I was like, oh snap, I'm about to be I'm Mr. Geppetto, like, oh, I'm a doll maker. Like, oh, this is basically like a little factory.
yeah.
And so once I got to grad school, that was my focus really on, it was on the dolls, getting them to a space where they were on point. And so like the newer ones, I've sold over 60 of those dolls so far at this point. And I took a few months off because they take a lot out of you. They really take a lot out of you. But I'm actually about to do a solo show at the Everson in May. And so I'm sorry, not May, in March. And so I'm gonna be debuting a few new dolls there. So it'll be nice to make some new ones, and they just feel so black. The dolls really feel black, and they're gender inclusive as well. Because like I wasn't supposed to play with dolls because I was a boy, and I don't know, like that really hurt me a lot. And even when I got older, I would try to like forget about that portion of me playing with dolls and stuff. Bratz was my favorite because they was the flyest and they felt so black. Um, so once I got over that, I was like, oh yeah, I'm about to flip this. Like, how can I turn this into a triumphant thing? And I'm like, I'm about to make my own dolls. And here, a few months later, the or the second Jalito doll iteration was created.
Dude, that's awesome. I love the I love your resilience, you know what I mean? Like the fact that yeah, because you hear it all the time, like, oh, little boys don't play with dolls. I have two questions before I move on to the next subject. One, I want to know where that comes from. Where does that, like, the artistic defiance, like, where does that come from? And also with the name too, the Jalito. I see is a play on your name, but how did you come up with that name?
Okay, so the name question. So my friend Nige, he doesn't even remember this. Um, he gave me the nickname Jalito because I have a tendency to cut up, you know, when provoked enough, and I get real crazy at the mouth. And so they said, like, my friends and stuff start calling me Jalito, and I'm like, oh, this is clever. I'm gonna figure out a way to brand this in the future because it was too perfect to not use. And at the time, I already had like an upcoming brand called The Gurch. I just be making words like turn into a thing. Like I I really just be making it happen. So that's what happened with Jalito. Now they took on this personality of the dolls. And so um I love when people send me pictures of them in their final like spots around people's houses and stuff. Like it looks so dope.
No, and I guess the the whole essence of Jalitho, of you, you know, being able to, you know, you cutting up sometimes is
Yes,
is that what kind of, you know, is a source of your artistic defiance, like
yes.
you creating dolls even though you were told like that's not what boys do and such.
Exactly. That resilience comes from watching my mother first and foremost, but also just always I don't know, I just always had to do my own thing. And I don't at the end of the day, I don't care what somebody tell me, I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Yeah. Okay, cool. No, I dig that, man, and I feel like that that mindset just it is the reason why your artwork is
Mm,
so memorable. You know what I mean?
right.
'Cause you can see the confidence that comes from it,
Yeah.
and even with like the amount of content you're doing in the Syracuse area, it makes sense that you're running in around the same circles that like, Black Cub is running into. So I'm curious, how did you hear about Black Cub?
So um what I'm trying to remember. I was told about Black Cub by my barber. He reached out and he had told me that there was a project or something going on and that I might be at the time I was in school and so I wasn't really like in Syracuse like that. So I wasn't able to participate in it. I didn't even reach out. But that was my first time hearing about them. And then I was talking to my cousin Saisha again because she's on the board of the Salt Marketplace downtown. I think that's what it's called. And she brought them up to me as well. I just kept hearing Black Cub Productions. And finally last summer, I got to interview them for CFAC. And that was my formal introduction to them. So it was long overdue. But I was glad it finally happened.
Dope, dope. Well, I'm curious, real quick. Who's your barber?
Tyson
Oh, Tyson. Okay, from Collins.
Collins, yep,
Okay,
Tyson.
cool.
So um
His father cut my hair when I was in Syracuse.
yeah, Charleston, yep. So and it's just so funny even watching them how like me and Tyson and my brother, we used to be at that barbershop like every weekend, on the weekends waiting to get our hair cut. And we would just be playing and stuff upstairs, like, and now he's one of the barbers and his father there, like he done passed the torch. It's really lit. I love that. And that's why like I still go there
That's
because they
dope.
just real good peoples.
Cool, cool. Well, last couple of questions. I'm curious. After that interview with Black Cup, what were your thoughts on both Miles and Eric? What were your thoughts on just the creative of Black Cubs in general?
So I love their energy and I was just like, yo, I can't believe it took this long for me to finally meet them. You know, like I wish this would have happened sooner. But I feel like things happen when they're supposed to. And they ended up I invited them to this Halloween soiree and we got to meet in person and it was like it was just good vibes, really good vibes. So they mad cool.
Yeah, man, that's dope. That's good to hear.
Mhm.
Now, like I said, last couple of questions. You worked on a lot. You worked on a lot of awesome stuff. I'm sure you have some things in the works. You were mentioning some things before we started the interview.
Yeah.
What are some of those things that you could share? I know some things are like top secret until you release them and such. But what are you working on, man?
Okay, so boom. March, I have a show opening at the Everson Museum titled Homecoming. this is me. You know, I'm back in Syracuse from grad school. I got my studio space. Come and see what I got going on. And I'm also I just uh I just sent off like the files for my Jalito dolls to this artist in Paris who's gonna be like coming up with a 3D model of the doll so that I can then get it 3D printed and then cast it in resin so I can make like figurines like on some um I don't know, like some little sculptures, you know? I just want to make something that's like, I'm trying to use some tech. I'm trying to use some tech. And then I'm also a musician now. I mean, not now, I've always been a musician, but I'm like really doing this now. So I've been producing some work and I'm in a music group and we're coming out with our first EP called Smooth Vibrations Volume 1. And with this EP, it's actually a house EP. It's nothing but house music. And we about to take you on a journey of dancing and healing, because that's what we need right now. That we are in this moment of healing. And I don't know, I just feel like one of these things about to pop off. So we got some photo shoots and stuff lined up for that. And then I'm anxious to get started on the video recordings of all of the songs. So it's gonna be crazy.
Oh, cool. Well, before we get to our last question, how can people see your work? How can people get connected with you?
Okay.
You can drop your socials or your website or anything like that.
Okay. So you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as Jaleel J. Blige. I'm Mary J. Blige's cousin. And I'm also on SoundCloud under the same name. And then you can check out jaleelcampbell.com for all of my artwork and more things that I got going on.
Cool. And we'll make sure we put down a graphic on this video.
Okay.
For you. We got you. Cool. And so last question. You're in such a great creative space, and I feel like the industry, when it comes to creativity, is changing. The landscape is changing. The way we engage with art is changing. How do you foresee things changing in the future in terms of how people engage with art? How you think they might engage with your art? Where do you see the industry going in your opinion?
It's moving towards like tech and new media. And so I'm trying to figure out where I exist in that world. I want to push my stuff forward. That's why I'm trying to use some of the new technologies to just provide more than just a visit to like a gallery or something. No, I want to provide an experience. How can I really get this to a point where like I don't know, people you just want to come back. You want to keep coming back for more. So I'm working on that right now, trying to come up with some dope ways of implementing technology into my artwork.
Well, cool. That all sounds really exciting. I think, and I agree with you, man. I think the more we engage with technology, the more we're going to see industry change. So I think, and being that I feel like you already have your mindset on that, I can see your work, changing with the times and being innovative. So that's really dope, man.
Right.
Yeah.
I hope. Listen, that's the plan. That's the plan.
Awesome. Well, Jaleel, I just want to say thank you so much for your time, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm in Syracuse from time to time, so hopefully the next time I'm in Syracuse, I'm able to link up with you and see your work in person.
Yeah, I would love to pull up to Jaleel Campbell Studios, bring a mask, and that's it.
Sounds good, man. Thanks again for your time. Appreciate you, bro.
No problem.
Sure.